Hello everyone, my name is John Cottrell of MBODY Yoga in Salt Lake City, and this is Soft Flow Yoga. This is a 60-minute gentle yoga practice, and I want to welcome you to the class. So when we do soft flow, we like to move slowly, we take our time. It's just a nice way just to get reconnected to your body, even rest a little bit, just to ease your mind and your body. So that's part of our intention when we practice together in this fashion. So for our practice, we always like to use some props. So let me show you what we'll be using today. It's always nice to have a blanket, something soft that you can sit on, even kneel on. So a blanket, and perhaps a couple of yoga blocks if you happen to have them, or something that might resemble yoga blocks. If you don't have that, something firm, it could even be some books that you could stack, maybe hardbound books that you can use. That might come in handy. One thing that we will be using in our practice is a strap. So if you have a strap and you need to run and get that, go ahead and add that to your collection of yoga props here. So for part of our practice, we'll be using a yoga strap. So if you don't have a strap, something similar, it could be a tie, a necktie, a jump rope, a belt, something like that, just something long. Alrighty? So we got that nearby. And then lastly, sometimes I use this, but it's always nice to have. It's just a bolster or just a big cushion or pillow. This is a firm cushion. This might come in handy for your Savasana practice when you're just lying comfortably and maybe you just need a little extra support for parts of your body. Okay, so that is it. So what we're going to be doing today, I've called this class head to knee pose with a twist. And that's basically two postures that we're going to be kind of putting together. So head to knee pose is a yoga posture that we do together. And there's actually several variations of that pose. And so we'll be practicing that, and we're going to add a twist to it. So a little bit of twisting. So that being said, let's go ahead and begin. We'll start in a seated position, so sit comfortably on a pillow or your folded blanket. I like to cross my legs and sit up nice and tall. If you need to extend your legs or even sit up against a wall or in a chair for this first portion of class, please do so. This is just our opportunity to take some time, come to stillness, reconnect to ourselves, and just tune into our breath. So you might start with some deep breaths, slow deep breath, maybe cleansing breaths. You might breathe in deeply through your nose and exhale completely through your nose or even through your mouth. And several times like that, and then just settle into gentle, slow breaths. Breathing with intention. I like to call this our breathing meditation, allowing your body and mind to come to this moment, to be a bit more present and aware. You want to breathe in a way where you can hear your breath. That's going to help you to stay pretty focused and balanced. Breathing with a little bit of sound behind it. And then also notice how your body is responding to your breath. So for example, as you breathe in deeply, you may want to feel your breath rising upward to really fill up your lungs. Nice expansive quality in your upper body and chest. And then when you exhale, we're going to engage the abdominal muscles. And we do that by feeling perhaps your belly button pull in gently towards your spine. Just an engaged feeling in your center. So again, you might breathe in, just feel the breath rising, filling up your lungs. Exhaling. Again, you can breathe through the nose or mouth, but do feel navel draw in towards spine. Nice connection to center body. Part of our focus will be our center because we're going to be doing some twisting, some mild twisting. Let's just hold in stillness for a few more moments. Slow, steady breaths in and out. And go ahead and take 2 more slow, deep breaths. And after those 2 breaths, we'll add some movement, which I like to call our moving meditation. So when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Reach all the way up. Big stretch like you'll touch the ceiling. Then exhale, extend your arms outward, reaching across the room. And then bring your arms back down by your side, perhaps onto your lap. We'll do that again. Inhale, really extend, reach out. Follow the inhale, reach into the air. And exhale, extend all that good energy moving through your fingertips. Arms come back down by your side. Good. Just continue to breathe and move at your own pace. This simple movement, reaching out and up and then back down. And just follow the pace of your breath. So don't worry about trying to move or breathe at my pace. Just listen and feel your own pace. And with this gentle movement, pay attention to your body. Notice the sensations that arise. With the nice energy in your arms extending upward, you might feel a lengthening down through the sides of your body, energy in your hands and fingers. Notice how this affects your shoulders, maybe even your upper back. Very good. Go ahead and take 2 more breaths. Finishing the breath that you're on and then completing 2 more. Take your time with this. Awareness of sensation and breath. And when you're complete, you can just bring your arms back down by your side, let them rest in your lap. And just notice the shift, that change in your body after being in motion, now coming to stillness. Notice your breath. While still seated, you take your hands behind you, just landing on your fingertips or your palms, whatever feels right for you here. If you happen to be sitting up on something, it might be a little easier just to be on your fingertips. So with the arms behind you, you can perhaps feel your shoulders draw back. You might have to put some effort in pulling them back. You're going to tip your chin up just a little bit. So we've got this slight, mild back bend that's happening here. Now, when you inhale, you'll press into the ground with your fingertips or palms. Continue to feel breath rising upward to fill up your lungs. And because your shoulders are slightly behind you, this might expand your chest a little bit more. Then as you exhale, just draw navel inward towards your spine, continuing that engaged center. Again, as you breathe in, press hands into the floor. Notice the energy in your arms, shoulders drawn back, breath rising, filling up your lungs. When you exhale, again, draw belly in, and if you can, squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. You're just feeling your upper back muscles as your shoulders kind of pull back and towards your center, towards your spine. Let's take 2 more breaths in this seated back bend and continue to notice the energy in your body. Then after your second breath, just lower your chin so you're facing directly forward. Walk your hands toward yourself so you can rise up sitting tall, and then just bring your arms to your lap. Again, noticing that shift, that change from an engaged body to a more relaxed body. And since we performed a back bend, we like to do a forward fold. Here, you might want to uncross the legs if they were crossed. Let's place the soles of the feet together. Let me give you some variations of this. When we do this pose, you can certainly bring the heels in pretty closely towards the pelvis. That way you can kind of scoop up your toes like this. But if that feels a little tight in the knees, then you may want to adjust this, and you might want to slide the feet forward like this, so there's less of that bend and tightness in the knees. You probably can't reach your feet by doing that, but you can just hold on to your shins. All right, you want to be able to sit up nice and tall wherever you are. So just make those adjustments. And then one last thing, if you'd like, this is optional, your blocks or books or even some small pillows, you can tuck them underneath the legs right here so your legs rest. Now, here we go. Holding on to ankles, feet, or shins. We'll inhale, sit up very tall, straight line in your spine. Exhale, draw belly in and start to hinge forward a tiny bit, leading with your heart and your chin. And if you can see me, you can notice I didn't move very far, not far at all. Stay here at this angled posture. Inhale, more lengthen the spine. Exhale, draw belly in. That's really a way to support your body now in motion as you hinge forward a little bit more. So just continue that progression, that slow progression. Breathing in to fill up your lungs, preparing the body to move, and the exhale to engage your center for that bodily support, and then move, but a very small motion. That way the body doesn't overreact or get stressed out as you move into your poses. And you might find several things. One, that you can probably hold a pose a little bit longer, and you might be able to go a little bit deeper if that's your choice. But since it's soft flow, one of the things we like to say here is that you don't have to go too deeply into a posture. Maybe work more at a 60 or 70% of a posture. And so, if, for example, instead of going all the way down like this, where I really have a lot more sensation, you might just back off a little bit, or a whole lot, really. Wherever you are, just take 3 more breaths. So this is cobbler's pose or bound angle pose. It's a nice hip opener. After your 3rd breath, it's going to hinge your way back up. You can even press your hands into the floor to help guide your body back up until you're nice and tall. Once again, just return to stillness. Hold. Take a breath. All right, from here, let's move our props out of the way so we can maneuver our bodies and come to our hands and knees. You might use your blanket for some padding for your hands and knees. If you don't happen to have a blanket, you can even just fold your mat. Just kind of double up on your mat, just fold it in, something like this, and that will create some padding. Alrighty, so we're on our hands and knees, forming our tabletop posture, ready to move into cat pose and cow pose. They flow together. Starting with our inhale for cow, we're going to inhale to look up or forward, creating a mild back bend, arching the back. Then exhale, rounding the spine, pull belly button up towards spine, chin to chest, feel that good roundedness in your back. Then inhale, reverse it, feel the pelvis tip back. Belly will kind of drop towards the floor, arching the back. There's your back bend, looking forward. Exhale, round it out. And again, moving at your own pace. And even finding the depth of the pose, each pose, that feels right for you. Again, maybe working as best as you can at that 60 to 70% rather than the full 100% of the posture. Again, being able to really remain relaxed and calm throughout the entire practice, even with all the movements that we'll be doing. Go ahead and finish the breath that you're on. Take 2 more breaths. After your 2nd breath, once again, just return to stillness here in your tabletop posture. Hold. And if you are using a blanket for some padding, go ahead and crawl off the blanket, set it to the side, or unroll or unfold your mat. We're going to come back to hands and knees. Get ready for our next pose. So if you've got this tabletop posture, your wrists are probably directly underneath the shoulders. Let's change that. Step the hands forward so your hands are out from underneath the shoulders. And even spread out your fingers pretty wide here. So you can stretch the fingers and then lean into or press the palms into the ground to flatten your palms, which also stretches open the palms. As you press, also feel the energy and strength in your arms. Hold that sensation, tuck your toes, Let's do another cat and cow flow. Inhale, look up or forward, arching the back. Exhale, round it into cat pose. Hold cat for a second, and then lifting the knees, lifting hips into the air until you're in downward facing dog. This inverted posture, hips are nice and high, like an inverted V. So you might need to or want to adjust your hands, your feet on your mat so you can really settle into the pose. Fingers are still spread out wide, pressing firmly into the ground to strengthen the upper body. Even check in with your head and neck. Sometimes we hold tension in our necks in this posture. Just go ahead and shake it loose just to be sure that it's relaxed here. And if you like, with the feet, pedal the feet. Press one heel down, then the other, getting a little stretch for the calves and toes. So yes, we are holding this first down dog a little longer than usual. If you get a little tired, that's okay. You can always bring your knees to the floor to rest. Go ahead and press the heel down one more time on each foot, and then return to down dog, hold, and just look directly down at the center of your mat and just step your feet forward until you are standing in the center of your mat, feet flat on the ground. This will put you in a forward fold. We're going to inhale, slide your hands up the legs. This will lift the upper body a little bit, but only lift halfway. So you're a tabletop like this. We're going to hold on the exhale. So stay in this posture. Half forward fold is the formal name. There's a slight bend in the knees. And there's still an extension through the spine. Energy moving through the very top of your head and even through your tailbone. So that energy moving forward and energy moving back behind you. Take a nice full breath in. Exhale, just go ahead and shift the weight back into your heels. You're going to bend your knees and feel like you're sitting down into a chair. Take your arms out to the side to help stand up. So straighten your legs and then straighten your arms by reaching straight up into the sky. On the exhale, bring your arms down by your side. So this will land us in mountain pose. Let's just hold here for a moment. Feel free to maybe roll your shoulders. Big circles. Circles backward and forward. Again, just loosening up in this joint area and even in your neck. Let's just do a little neck stretch. Just gently bring ear down to one shoulder, back up to neutral, and then the other shoulder. Do that a couple times on both sides and just feel that little stretch in the neck and then look down. Okay, just send the head down and then back up to neutral. Do that again, maybe 2 more times, just down and up. You don't have to look up. That's a different sensation that we really don't need to do because that can put a little extra strain in the back of the neck. We really don't need to do that. All right, so now you're nice and tall, mountain pose. Let's go ahead and do our forward fold and then come back up, mindfully and carefully. Here we go. We're going to inhale, reach up into the air. Looking directly forward. Exhale, spread your wings, then bend your knees and feel like you're sitting back into your imaginary chair as best as you can. Go in slow motion, folding, and let your hands come down. Let your head relax. Then inhale, slide your hands up the legs, maybe to your knees or thighs to extend your spine. Now you can hold this like we did before, or exhale and fold back down. Coming back down towards toes. Now you don't have to touch your toes. At the moment, my hands are just kind of lightly resting on my shins. But if you bend your knees more, maybe round your back more, maybe you can touch your toes. Or maybe your blocks are handy or books, and maybe just have them in front of you, and they act as a nice support, actually, in a forward fold position. Check in with your head, maybe just a couple of nods. Yes, maybe a little shake. No. Then, once again, shifting your weight back into your heels, bend your knees, feel like you're sitting down, look forward, spread your wings, take them out to the side, drive heels into the floor, straighten your legs, standing tall, reach into the air, exhale, arms down by your side. Mountain pose. Hold in stillness for a quick second. And if you like, you can even kind of shake this out or go back to loosening up the shoulders and neck. All right, we're going to move into our variation of Warrior One, which has a shorter distance between the feet. A little bit more balance, I think, that's achievable in this version of Warrior One. So follow me. So we're in mountain pose to begin. Let's start by putting a little bend in the knees and keep them slightly bent. Start shifting your weight into right foot. Feel the energy and pressure in the right foot. Lean forward just a tiny bit. And then start tiptoeing or stepping the left foot back. Just tap, tap, tap it back until either you're balancing on your toe or on the balls of your foot. Just something that's going to keep you steady. Right knee is still somewhat bent. Hold here for just another quick second, and then you're going to turn the left heel planted into the floor, which kind of plants you into the lunge. Okay? Place hands on hips, push pelvis down. As you extend spine, get nice and tall and proud. And then turn mostly forward, so you're facing in the same direction as your front foot here. There's still a slight bend in the right knee. The left leg is slightly turned out at a natural angle. Maybe you can see my left foot kind of pointing out at an angle. And then we'll inhale, take both arms up into the air. Exhale, hold right here. So this is our variation of Warrior One. And we will be doing another version a little bit later. So it is a lunge. Not too much distance between the feet, which allows a little bit more balance. All right, let's keep the arms extended. We're going to lean or hinge forward, put some more weight and pressure into the front foot. Release the left foot so you can step forward, standing together. Then stand up tall, reach into the air. Exhale, arms back down by your side. Hold. Even shake that out if you'd like. So that's our variation. Let's do the other side. Again, we'll start by putting a little bend in the knees, keep them bent. Start shifting weight into left foot. Nice connection, grounding into the left foot. Lean forward just a tiny bit so you can start tapping the right foot back. Not too far, balancing on the tiptoe or balls of the foot, whatever feels best and natural and in control here. And then we'll pivot, placing the right heel onto the ground so you're nicely planted into the center of this pose. Place your hands on your hips, push pelvis down with the hands. At the same time, feel nice and tall. That creates a little space in the torso so you can face mostly forward. It's a slight twist here too. Alrighty, here we go. We're going to inhale, take the arms up into the sky. Exhale and hold here. And when you exhale, you're still drawing belly in towards your spine to help engage and hold your posture. Couple more breaths. Left knee is bent, it's pointing forward. Right leg naturally turned out at an angle. Feet planted firmly into the ground. Keep arms into the air. We're starting to shift the weight forward into left foot. So we can step the right foot forward together with the other. Stand up tall, reach into the sky. Exhale, arms down by your side. Very nice. And again, if you like, shake that out. All right, let's go ahead and move through our next sun salutation. Mountain pose. Inhale, extend your arms into the sky. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, sit back into your imaginary chair, and slowly fold. Making your way down, maybe touching the ground or toes or just your shins. Inhale, slide your hands up the legs to knees or thighs, extending your spine. Exhale, folding. Keep going. Bend your knees more. Let your back round because we're going to bring the hands to the ground. And then start stepping the feet back. Just take your time. Take as many steps as you need to until you're in plank pose, a high push-up position, pretty much a straight line in the body. We'll breathe in. Exhale, bend your knees like you're about to kneel down, but send your hips up into the air. And there's our downward facing dog. Hold for a second, but be sure to make those adjustments with the feet and hands as you need to. And we'll continue from here. We're going to break down the lunge as we get into our next version of Warrior One. Inhale, extend right leg up behind you. Reach long through your foot. Exhale, bend the right knee, bring it in towards your chest, shifting your upper body forward till your shoulders are over your wrists. And then just set your right foot down anywhere on the mat. You'll be on your toes. And then gently set your left knee onto the ground so you're kneeling. Pick up your right hand, reach back and literally pick up your right foot and step it up higher on your mat. Then re-lift the left knee. And then pivot or turn left heel to the floor. So we're setting up for our second version of Warrior One. Now there might be more weight in the front body. So maybe walk your hands back a little bit, maybe towards the heel.
so we can put more pressure and weight in the left foot. So there's kind of this even distribution of weight in both feet. Right knee is still bent, facing forward. Crawl up the body, meaning you're just going to bring your hands up to your thigh, lifting upper body until it's fully extended at an angle like this. Put a little extra pressure in that left foot. Then sweep your arms out to the side and up into the air until your torso is long and tall. Now we're in Warrior One. Exhale to lunge. Hold for a moment. This will feel a little differently. Perhaps a little bit more stretch sensation in this left leg, hip flexor region. Maybe a little bit more bend in this right knee. Good reach into the air. Let's add on. We're going to breathe in. As we exhale, turn your torso towards the left side of the room. Now bring your arms down to parallel, and they'll be over your legs right here. Warrior Two. Make any adjustments if you need to. It'll probably be slight adjustments so you have good balance. Side angle pose. You're going to reach forward with the right arm like you're reaching out to get something, and then rotate your arms. Bring your right arm down, maybe to inner right thigh, as your left arm extends up into the air. Let's hold here for a couple breaths. Good extension. And maybe just a little bit more reaching of this left arm overhead, lengthening through the left side of the body. Remember, we're adding a twist a little bit later, so we want to have some good space available in the sides of the body. Let's breathe in. We're going to exhale carefully, turn so you're facing the floor, bend slowly so you can bring your hands down to the ground. Rise up onto your tiptoes with the back foot. Press firmly into the ground with your palms. Straight, strong arms, a transfer of weight and energy so you can slide the right foot back until you're in plank pose. Hold for a second, and then a return to down dog. Bend your knees, send hips into the air. Once you're in down dog, don't forget, make the adjustments with hands and feet, and I also suggest keeping the knees bent while you're in down dog. That'll keep the spine nice and straight. Okay, inhale, extend left leg up and behind you. Just reach back through your toes. Exhale, bend the left knee. Bring it in underneath you towards your chest or chin, shifting your upper body forward, shoulders over wrist, and then just set the left foot down, then your right knee down. So you can use your left hand and go get your left foot and just step it up a little higher. Replant the hand. Relift the right knee. Pivot right heel to the floor. Again, there's more weight in front. So maybe step your hands back so they're maybe aligned with the heel of the front foot so you can put more pressure into the whole back foot. Okay, if you need to crawl up the body, I like to bring my hand up to my thigh and actually push to help lift and extend spine. We're at a 45-degree angle here. Hold for a second. And then extend your arms out to the side, then up into the air until we're perpendicular to the floor, mostly facing forward, lunging on the exhale. Let's hold for a couple breaths. Once again, just noticing perhaps what's happening in the right leg, in right hip flexor. We have a good bend in the left knee. Breathe in. Exhale, turn your torso towards the right side of the room, opening your arms or bringing the arms down to parallel, reaching in these opposite directions. Slight adjustments with the feet if you need to. Hold for a breath or two just to arrive in your posture. And then side angle, reaching forward, angled upper body, then rotate the arms. Left arm will come down to the inside of the left leg, while the right arm extends straight up into the air. Really feel as if you're reaching to touch the ground and reaching up to touch the sky. A couple more breaths. And don't forget, let's go ahead and extend this right arm overhead a little bit more, so we get that lengthening sensation down through the right side of the body. Then we'll inhale, and our exhale to carefully turn to face the floor. Bend, place the palms on the ground, rise up onto tiptoes behind you. Put that good pressure in the hands, transfer of weight and energy, so you can slide the left foot back. Plank pose, hold. Bend your knees, send hips into the air, down dog. Hold for a moment just to arrive in the posture. We are going to go back up to a standing position. Look at the center of your mat. Step forward until your feet are flat on the ground. That might be the center of your mat. Deep forward fold. Then we're going to inhale, slide hands up the legs until we're in half forward fold. Hold. Then shift weight into the heels, bend your knees, look forward, spread your wings, and inhale. Let's stand up tall, reach for the sky, big stretch. And again, exhale, bring your arms down by your side. Shake it out. All right, we're going to do a couple of standing postures. Our first posture is actually going to be a balancing pose. Let's do tree pose. And now you can do tree pose traditionally, okay, just balancing on one foot, but you can also use your props. And I'll show you, I'm going to do it with props, with a couple of blocks or books, okay? And you can also use a wall because it's a balancing pose, and if you have a little if you're a little wobbly in your standing position, you can use a wall or the back of a chair. But I'm going to use the blocks. I'm going to have the blocks on either side of me, and I'm standing right in between them. They're pretty close. So I'm just situating my blocks so they're like that. Okay? And I'm going to try to mirror you here. So you're going to start shifting your weight into your right foot. Actually, put a little bend in the knees, and then put weight into the right foot. Make sure we stand nice and tall. That's our inhale. Fill up the lungs. Exhale, engage belly. We're picking up the left foot, but I'm just going to step right there onto the block, right there, with the knee turned outward, okay? So my whole leg turns, so the toes and knee are pointing out to the left side of the room. So this is one version of your tree pose, okay? If you'd like to, you're very welcome to go ahead and place foot on the inside of the standing leg. So you are fully balanced on one foot, but feel free to use a block or maybe just a wall or a chair right here, just so that you have the balance. And then for the arms, of course, we'll inhale. Let's take the arms up into the sky. And let's hold here for a moment. The main thing here is really about this hip opening, okay? Not too much about the balance today, because when we get into our featured pose, head to knee pose, one of the legs is actually going to be shaped like this. 2 more breaths. After the second breath, let's go ahead and bring the arms down, relaxed. Let's turn the left knee forward and just plant the foot down next to the other. Re-engaged, reconnected to the ground. So it's our tree pose with the emphasis on the hip opener. Okay, the knee kind of swung out and pointing to the side. Let's do the other side. Let's put a little bend in the knees. Start shifting weight over into left foot. Let's get tall. Inhale, fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage belly. That just gives us the support so we can pick up the right foot, turn the knee out, and maybe use the block. I just have the balls of my foot or toes on the block there, really emphasizing the hip opener. Be sure your hips are square and facing forward as this leg kind of turns out. Again, you can do the traditional version of placing foot on the inside of the leg there. Then inhale, let's take the arms up into the sky, reach and stretch, hold on the exhale. Here's our pose. And of course, if you are using a block or a wall, you probably can hold the pose a little bit longer. Very nice. Again, maybe concentrating on the hip opening portion of this posture. Let's go ahead and bring the arms back down, relaxing the arms and shoulders. Let's turn the knee forward and just place the foot down next to the other, returning to mountain pose. Alrighty. I'm just going to kind of scoot my blocks out of the way a little bit. We're doing another standing posture. We are going to do our chair pose that we're going to twist. Okay, so we need to add our little twist action. So when you're ready, go ahead and inhale, take the arms up into the sky. Good. Exhale, take chair pose. Let me just turn sideways. So maybe just a little seat. You don't have to sit back too far. Something like this, like there was a chair behind you, bending the knees, hips back. And then go ahead and bring your hands to heart center so we can relax the shoulders. So we've kind of formed this little angled body sensation. Then we'll inhale and really feel more extension through the spine as best as you can. Exhale, pull belly in, and a twist of just your upper body towards the right side of the room. Now we don't have to go very far, just a slight rotation, and you don't even have to go very low. You can see I'm not even close to my legs with my upper body, because you can certainly be much lower. Just to demonstrate, you can be much lower and deeper, but for soft flow, we really don't need to be down this far. So up and a slight twist. Let's inhale right here, still in the twist. We're going to exhale to unwind, And then stand up. Let's go ahead and take the arms up into the air and bring the hands together and perhaps down to heart space this time. Okay? So let's do the same thing, other side. We're going to inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, chair pose, mild seat. Let's start with the arms extended just for a brief moment. And then bring hands to heart. We'll inhale to feel more length in the spine. Exhale, slight rotation towards the left side. Now, it may not feel like much, but do notice that you are rotated. You have turned away from center. That's plenty. Remember, working at 60 to 70% of the pose. Feet are rooted into the ground, knees are bent, hips feel like they're shifting back. There's good balance up top here too. We'll breathe in. We'll exhale to unwind. Let's go ahead and stand up tall. Once again, let's take the arms up into the air to get that full stretch. And exhale, arms down by your side. Alrighty. Okay, so if you got some props in the way here, you can move your props. Maybe you're using the back of a chair or something. So let's just clear our path and get ready for another flow, starting in mountain pose. Here we go. Let's inhale, reach into the air. Let's go ahead and take chair pose on that exhale. Again, that same mild seat. Inhale, reach out through your arms. Exhale, dive out of your seat, slowly folding. Take your time, bend your knees more. Hands come down, let the head relax. Inhale, slide hands up the legs to extend your spine, flat back like a table. Exhale, bend your knees, round your spine carefully until your palms can come down to the ground. Put weight into the hands so you can step both of your feet back. Take your time. Plank pose, hold. Holding a little bit longer, just getting some good strength in the upper body. And then kneel. Bring your knees to the floor. Sit back briefly in hero. Just getting off the hands so we can slide the hips off to the side onto the mat. Swing the legs around to the front here. Okay, with legs extended. Now you're going to need your strap. I'm just going to adjust my mat here. And you'll need your yoga strap. Now I'm also going to use a blanket to sit on. I just want something soft to sit on. That's just more comfortable for me. Right there. Legs extended. You got your strap or jump rope or whatever you've got there. All right, we're going to do a forward fold. Let's start by wrapping the strap around the bottom of the feet here, extending the legs. Now the legs can be absolutely straight, okay, but if you need to put a bend in the knees, please do so. And just even to support this, you can take like a rolled up towel or something and tuck it underneath the knees. So you don't have to worry about trying to keep them bent. They'll just naturally stay bent with the support. All right, we've got a hold of the strap here, both hands. If you tug the strap a little bit, you can use that as a way to help sit up nice and tall. That's an inhale, tug, lift. Exhale, pull belly in, another tug of the strap to hinge forward. So a little pull so you can hinge forward a little bit and then check in with your body. I feel this in my back. I feel this in my hamstrings. So notice where you feel this. And if you want to go a tiny bit more, if you're not quite at 60%, maybe just below that, maybe you're at 40%. Take another full breath in, lengthening through spine. Exhale, pull belly in, another little tug of the strap, and maybe now you're at 60%. Okay, you feel something, it feels okay. You can probably hold a little bit longer. So let's just hold for several breaths. So we're really getting ready for head to knee pose. The Sanskrit name is Janu Shirshasana. Shirsha is head in Sanskrit, and Janu is knee in Sanskrit. All right, we're going to rise back up, fully extended spine, nice and tall. All right, let's just relax the strap for a moment. Let's go ahead and get set up for Janu Shirshasana. So we'll keep the right leg extended. We're going to bend the left knee, bring it in, and you're going to bring foot to the inner leg. Now, this is what I was talking about with tree pose. As far as the next posture, our featured posture, which is this, is going to resemble what we did in tree. So left foot on the inner, it could be inner right thigh, maybe a little lower at the knee or even down by calf if that feels better. Be mindful of the knee. Here's another trick. You can also use a block or a pillow to tuck underneath this leg right there. Okay, we're going to keep the strap wrapped around the foot, the bottom of the right foot, because we're going to fold. That's the head to knee part. Here we go. We're going to inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, hinge forward a tiny bit. Now remember, we're still working at 60 to 70%. So that doesn't mean you have to go all the way flat and lying completely over this leg. Not at all, okay? Even if you're highly flexible and can do that, maybe today, let's back off a little bit. Let's give the body a little bit of a break. Still okay to bend the right knee, even tuck something underneath it to support it. Find your 60% and let's hold. So imagine maybe you're bringing head down to your knee. But I like to think of this pose as a feeling of sending your heart out towards your toes. So kind of outward that way. 3 more breaths. Nice stretch. This really feels good. We're going to rise back up, relax a little bit. Let's keep this pose. Now we're adding the twist. Remember I said we're going to do it. We're doing head to knee pose with the twist. And here's how we'll do this. So your foot, the strap is still wrapped around the front foot, but kind of bring it over towards that left knee. You're going to take your right hand and reach around behind you. And if you can, I don't know if we can do this. We may have to do this a little differently than I anticipated. I know what we can do. Let's remove the strap. Let's do this. Remove the strap. Sit up nice and tall. Take your left hand and place it on outer right thigh. Outer right thigh. Let's take the right arm and reach around back. Now you can just place it on the ground or on your pillow, whatever you're sitting on if you happen to be sitting on something. Something like this. And this puts us into a nice mild rotation. Okay, so again, left hand on outer right thigh, right hand behind you, pressing into the ground so you can maintain a nice extension of the spine. Now, if we were going a little bit deeper, we could use the strap. The strap could be wrapped around that foot, and this right hand would reach around behind you and hold on to the strap. But that's a little bit more of an intense sensation. So we're making it more mild. Breathing in. We're going to exhale to unwind to face forward. There we are. Okay? So that's the first side. Let's do the second side. Let's go ahead and extend the left leg. Let's bend the right knee, bring right foot to the inner thigh or knee area or shin or calf. Maybe the block underneath that right knee for a little support, and maybe support underneath the left knee as needed. Let's do our forward fold sensation. Taking the strap, wrap it around the bottom of the foot. Let's inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, we'll fold, hinging just a tiny bit at first. Checking in with the body, see how this feels, notice how this feels. And if you're not quite at 60%, take another breath in, sit up a little taller, exhale, hinge a little bit more. Okay, I'm about at 70% for this pose, so I'm just going to hang out right here. Take deep breaths. And even imagine sending breath to where you experience sensation. So I feel a good stretch in my left hamstring, so I'm going to imagine I'm actually sending breath into that part of my body. Three more breaths. You can certainly hold this longer, okay, because you might be in a situation where you're comfortable enough where you probably could hold this pose a little bit longer. But we're going to get ready for our twist. Let's go ahead and rise back up, fully extended spine. Let's go ahead and release the strap since we're doing another version of our twist. Go ahead and take your right hand, place it on the outer portion of the left thigh, left hand behind you, just as a way to help prop yourself up so you can maintain the length in the spine. Now you're already pretty much in a twist, but you can go a little deeper perhaps. Let's inhale, lift tall, exhale, maybe rotate a tiny bit more. And this is perfect for me. I like this. Deep breath. So again, as we rotate, even though it's mild, we are focusing on that center body. Three more breaths. And then when you feel complete, let's go ahead and unwind, facing forward. Let's go ahead and re-extend right leg. Let's just come to staff pose. So legs are straight, spine stays straight, but again, use your hands to help extend the spine so you're sitting up as tall as can be. Couple breaths here. Make sure your shoulders are also rolled back for good posture. Couple breaths. Very good. Let's go ahead and relax this. Let's take a forward fold, but in our cobbler's pose. So bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet together. Again, adjust where you want the feet. Use props to support the knees if you need to. But this time we are going to add that curvature in the spine. Just because we did those forward folds and twists, let's just add another sensation to the back by rounding it. So go ahead and hold on to the shins or ankles. We'll inhale, sit up as tall as can be. Exhale, hinge just a tiny bit. At first, maybe the back is straight. Then lower your chin. Feel the roundedness in the back and maybe fold a little bit deeper. Again, finding your 60%. With the curvature in the spine, you might find that you can go a little bit lower. We still get a nice stretch in the inner thighs. But now some awareness of your back body. That roundedness, that curvature, especially after doing the forward folds with a lengthened spine and those twists. Let's take 3 more breaths here. And since the back is rounded, to come out of this pose, you might start by lifting your chin, maybe looking forward a little bit. That will start that re-extension of your spine. Place your hands on the ground or mat and press to help lift yourself up until you're nice and tall in your seat. Alrighty. All right, we're going to lie down, so you might want to move your props out of the way for a moment. Sit in the center of your mat. We are going to lie down. If you like to use a blanket for a headrest or have a blanket completely underneath you for softness, perfectly fine. Then go ahead and lie down. Be sure your blocks are nearby. When you lie down, you're going to bend your knees and just plug the feet into the ground. Let's just hold here because this is quite relaxed. We've been sitting up and standing quite a bit for most of the practice. This is our first lying down posture. And so this really allows the back and your low back and hips to relax for a moment. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Deep breaths. So a moment ago we did a seated forward fold. Now let's do a supported back bend. All right, grab your blocks. Take a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhaling so you can press feet into the ground, lifting your hips high enough so you can slide a block or two underneath you to sit on. This could also be a big cushion. Okay, just something that props up the hips, something underneath you to keep them propped up. So it just allows for some opening in the front body. Your thighs, hips, belly, and chest. And we'll continue with our deep breathing. You can stay just like this. This is a great, somewhat relaxing posture since we are supported by the blocks. But if you'd like, you can join me with some additional movements. Here, if you like, you can extend one leg and even two legs up into the air like this, creating an inverted posture. You can certainly do one leg at a time. One foot's on the floor and the other leg is in the air. This might just provide a little bit more support if you need it, okay? Or do both at the same time if you'd like. And if you've got one leg or both legs in the air, let's just add some movement to the feet. Maybe circle the ankles, flex the feet, point your toes. If you can wiggle your toes, wiggle your toes. Just some movement, and then add more movement if you'd like. A little bicycle pedaling just to get into your knee joints and into your hips. Again, these are all optional. Okay, and you can even move in a way that just feels good to you. I'm going to add another leg stretch. First, I'm taking both legs straight up into the air, and then I'm taking them wide apart, getting a little stretch in the inner legs. That feels good. Okay. And then back up to center. I'm going to do more bicycle pedaling. Again, just whatever just feels right. Whatever comes naturally to you. Don't even have to think about it. Just see what happens. And when you finish, you can just bring your feet back down to the ground. We'll come together in a moment in our supported bridge pose. And then from there, pressing feet into the ground so you can lift your hips to remove your blocks. Come back down to the ground. Safely reconnected to the earth. Hold for a moment. Let's do another hip opener. Step the feet into center so the inner legs might touch. So the inner edges of your feet might touch. And then just take the knees out to the side. Okay, your right knee to the right, left knee to the left, soles of the feet touching. So it's just cobbler's pose again. We're just doing it in a lying down version. Another stretch for the inner legs, inner thighs, but a little bit more relaxed throughout the entire body, the rest of the body. Let's go ahead and take 3 more slow, deep breaths here. When you're complete, we'll bring the knees together again, hug them into chest. We'll take one more twist. So our spinal twist. Let's start by taking both knees over to the left side as you extend your right arm to the right side. Now, if you need some more support, you can certainly use your blocks or a pillow or a cushion, because if the legs or knees don't go all the way down to the left side, you might want to use some props to help support that. For example, maybe using a block or a pillow underneath that bottom leg so it doesn't have to touch the floor, but it has some support. Or maybe it's just a block or a pillow between the knees. And you're still in a twist. And that's what's nice about this pose, even if you're using the props. We'll go ahead and take 3 more breaths on this first side. When you feel complete, you can always stay there longer if you'd like. Just return to center. Maybe one more hug of the knees into chest. And then we'll send the knees over to the right side. Again, use your props as you'd like. Knees to the right as your left arm extends to the left. And perhaps 3 more breaths on this side. And when you're complete, return the knees to center. You can give yourself another hug. And then we're going to move into Shavasana or any other relaxing pose. This is where your other props might come in handy. That bolster or pillows, cushions, blocks, blankets, whatever you want to use here to set up your body in a fully relaxed position. Or more traditionally, just lying flat on your back, legs long, arms down by your side, Shavasana. So just arrive in your relaxing pose. Feel free to close your eyes, to move inward, or just soften your eyes, gaze into the imaginary sky above you. Slow, steady breaths. Stay here as long as you'd like. Even as I end the practice, which is in a moment, you're still welcome to stay just like this. Whatever nurturing pose you happen to be in, feel free to stay here for the duration. When it is time to move, you might start with breath, taking 5 slow, deep breaths. Just feeling that new energy resonate through your entire body. Feeling movement return to your body, gently, slowly. And after your 5th breath, you'll want to move in slow motion, as slow as can be, and roll onto one side of your body. And once you're there, you might hold that for several breaths. Continuing to move in a slow fashion, make your way up to seated. Find your comfortable seat. Nice and tall, lengthened spine. You might cross the legs if that feels okay, sitting on your cushion. Arms relaxed down by your side, hands in your lap. And once you found yourself steady in your seated position, return to breath. Slow, deep breaths. Good. We'll add one more movement. Go ahead and inhale and extend your arms out and up into the air. And as you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Hold here in stillness. Return to the sensation of breath. Very nice. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste.